John, I'm just going to intercede here, John. I mean, we're sitting here complaining about it. Twitter is aghast with the decision. But what would the solution be? What should the rule actually be for a situation like this?
For me, the rule should be the referee should go look at the screen and he should say the handball is whether it's intentional or not. Okay? If it's not intentional, and you know the referee should go, right, it's gone up, the ball's hit his hand, but it's not intentional, it's not a penalty. If the player has used his hand in any way to hinder the opposition making a chance for a goal, to score a goal, then that's intentional, then it is a penalty. That's the only way that I think you can clear it up. That I think footballers and supporters alike will understand and say, right, and then it's up to the referee to understand that he don't get me wrong, referees are human, they'll get some right and some wrong, but this is just going to drive absolutely people mental. It'll drive people mad.
Gary, do you think that football and the rules are just trying to be too black and white, too clear, too concise? They've made offside rulings very clear because you're either on or off, but now handballs as well. They're not taking into account incidental or not.
Yeah. Listen, the game has never been perfect. It's played by imperfect players. It's managed and coached by imperfect managers and coaches. It's refereed by imperfect referees. So the game by nature is imperfect. How can you possibly make it perfect by using technology? For me, it doesn't work. Goal line technology, is cut and dried. That works very, very well. But I still think, as John has just said, for it to be a handball, there has to be an intent to handle the ball. And I've played in games. John might have even played it. I remember Kevin Ball, who was at Portsmouth when John and I were at Portsmouth together. We played away at West Ham, and a corner came in, and he deliberately punched it. He lifted his hand and punched it away. There was clear intent there. So players, do handle the ball with intent on occasions. However, there aren't many players and many occasions when in your own 18-yard box you deliberately handle the ball because you know it's a penalty. You're not looking to give away penalties.
All right, well, looking back at the game as a whole, it wasn't just about the penalty, obviously. Is that a lesson for Spurs, do you think, John, that they had a lot of chances throughout the whole 90 minutes, but they could only score one?
I told you, I spoke with my heart before, and I told you Steve Bruce was a tactical genius, and he would get one over Mourinho.
That's true.
I tell you, he changed to 4-4-2, and he got his goal. As I say, it was how the game went. Spurs should have had the game sewn up in the first half. Newcastle came out with a little bit more positivity. They played with a bit more of a high line. The problem is, and Steve all mentioned it, as you say, halfway through the first half, and he said to me, 1-0, it's too slender a lead. And as a team, that's all Steve Bruce hoped to do, was to stay in the game for as long as he could. Andy Carroll is always going to be an impact player. He's going to come on just to substitute. He's an old school centre forward. A lot of the centre halves in the modern game don't know how to deal with it, and he did actually cause problems. So, from Steve Bruce's point of view, it's a massive, massive point.